Alrighty, g'day guys, welcome to a tier list update for Legion TD Mega, whichever version we're on now. Not 3.5 though, not quite yet. Anyway, it's been a little while, we've had a bunch of changes, so I thought we might go through, and this is our early game tier list, but we're going to be moving around a few different units, and we're going to talk about them in a more general sense throughout the whole game, just because otherwise we'll be here for a very, very long time. Anyway, I've got Rummy and Moa with me, because if you've only got my opinion, then you'll probably get things that are wrong, so say g'day if you would.
Hello, hello.
Anyway, let's get started. So number one is Parrot. His little bullshit damage versus the bosses got fixed, so I think he's still not too bad, but for me he's gets kicked down pretty heavily. I think this is maybe a B tier 1. What do you guys think?
I think it's still good. I mean, we S++ was for sure too much.
Oh, I don't know when it was actually bugged.
Yeah, when it was bugged, 200 damage to a boss was pretty OP. I think it's still a really, really good tier 1 for AoE units. I love it.
Yeah.
Then if you don't have any AoE, it's just an F tier and not really playable. But if you have AoE units, I would say it's an A or S even.
Okay, how about we?
If you don't have them, it's just useless.
That's true.
Well, it's just a blocker like any tier 1s, and yeah, it's worse indeed. But yeah, I think A is fine.
I'm fine with A because it is bloody good, and we're not going to talk about Birdman.
No. Yeah.
No. Canon obviously was I think we did this tier list very soon after it was released, so it was actually should have been probably here because it was very broken. Then it got nerfed to here, and then it got buffed back up. So I feel like this is probably B tier overall. What do you guys think?
I can agree.
I don't
you can start with it if you have some melee which you can place behind. It's a solid starter, but nothing more. B is fine.
To me, it feels like bad Nightsaber.
Yeah, I think you want to play one of those or two maximum. When you play more than two, it's super bad for your setup because it's pretty useless unit. Yeah, I think B is okay.
On 17, it's still good, but yeah, that's it.
It's definitely no more massing a bunch of cannons on 15 and suddenly going mid. Yeah, I think the unit's okay as it is now, but it's definite. It feels weird because it feels really bad, but it only feels bad because we've got the memory of it being really, really broken, right?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Right.
It's for sure playable.
Necro. He got a couple of changes and I feel like it kicks him down a tier. What do you guys think overall? Ghost is obviously still singularly insane, but I don't know, I'm just less hyped about seeing Necro than I used to be.
It all depends on your setup. The hardest nerf was the Necrolyte damage, so Necrolyte was actually pretty good 7, pretty good 5, and you could easily hold 8, and now it's hard to mix in early. I mean, it's still one of the best 10 holder, but not an S tier.
You're thinking A tier?
Yeah, I guess so. It's really just about 10 kinda.
Yeah.
And then the aura for the mid game. I think Necrolyte is pretty dead value most of the time in your setup for mid game. If you don't have crazy value, it's good demon killer, but it's so TK against the creeps.
And Behemoth.
Yeah. It's still a great add when you have a good roll and you have also Necro your comp break.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
feel like Necro just doesn't make a roll like it used to though.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm just less excited about seeing it than I used to be. Alrighty, we happy here?
Yeah, that's fine.
Let's be on. Ship. Probably S tier was too low for the ship. Realistically. So it's definitely worse than it was now. but it's like, if it was meant to be probably here, is it an S tier unit now, or is it? I feel like it's more A tier though. I think
Yeah, same.
it's with the collision changes, it feels really bad to build like a lot of ships. It's kind of what I've been finding.
I still YOLO good. It's a good front line.
Oh, it's still a good
Get
unit.
pretty much all levels, so
Yeah,
it's
but
fine
you
on
need-
8 tier, I guess.
You need it's A tier, but you need specific ads to make it work early game. If you have bad ads like only melee units, or I don't know, you just struggle so hard with your YOLO, you're completely useless early game. So yeah, A is fine. If you have a good ad, it's okay.
And I guess it scales like pretty nicely. A few ships are good in the mid game generally as frontline.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm never too sad to see this unit, but it's definitely worse than it was. Alright, I'm happy with the rest of that tier. Moving on, I think Trident is a little bit overrated. Even for just the early game, it is so fucking bad on 10, and I'm not sure how it's managed to be so bad on 10 when it should be good with like a stun chance and a dodge chance. I actually don't understand why it's bad, but it's just terrible on 10, and to me that kicks this unit down a tier. Thoughts?
Maybe even to C tier.
Yeah, I mean, even on 7 at the end, it's not super good. It's just because if you are 1200 value, for sure you are good mid, but it's because you have crazy value. But yeah, it's super bad. I only play it as a Komodo from time to time to YOLO early game. I never upgraded. I think it's super TK.
I'm trying to remember the last time I upgraded a Trident, and it's really not coming to mind.
Yeah, I try to avoid to build this unit. I mean, Komodo, you can start with Komodo and have a good YOLO, but Trident is just, you steal all the feed for the good rolls and you are just dead value.
Yeah.
So are we thinking B tier or C tier?
For me, it's C tier.
Yeah, C tier for me as well.
Is it really on the same tier as Zombie Guys? Hint, that's one we might be looking at. Next, the Flame Rat. I think the tile changes made this thing super bad early. Like, if you have to start with it on level 1, I hate starting with this thing on level 1. I tried it once in League 7. I leaked one Hermit on 7 and I wanted to cry. So I want to put this fucking thing in F tier. But it's still pretty good. I think it's just a lot worse than it was. And a lot harder to use. But I guess if you get the optimal setup, it's still, like, really good.
It can work. So I saw Niels failing it hard, and I saw it working pretty good. So he was 6-1 and had a really good hold. The thing is, it all depends on the game. So if you get an early send and you leak 10 units, you are pretty much dead lane. But if the enemy team just kings and you get free holds every level, it's super strong. Yeah, it's kind of a coin flip how the game will go or not, and what roles does the enemy team have.
So it feels a lot less just splashable to me than it used to be. So I think C tier is maybe fair.
Yeah.
I think it's
I think B tier still. Well, to be honest, I didn't play it so much, but I saw this working pretty often actually. And if you get a send on the wrong level, you may rip, but you cover all your team on 7.
The issue is, for me, the wrong level is 1 to 6.
Yeah, but when you plan to crazy overbuild for 7 anyway, at the end, maybe you won't rip every single level before 7. Because, you're just crazy overbuild. But yeah, that's maybe not a good reason when you have a TK mid with 2-0 or 3-0.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the unit is still like the optimal sort of use of the unit is still about as good as it was. It's just the average just got kicked way down with the tile changes. I think it's just so much harder
the tiles
to use.
Need to be changed to 2 tiles per round. Still, I'm not sure.
But
maybe
it feels bad to see him with Frost Dragon, Minotaur, and Dragon Hook and War Chief. I think it's a bit better than all those tier 6 now.
Better than
for
War
sure.
Chief. Is it a B tier then?
Yeah, maybe leave it in B tier. B tier.
Okay. It's definitely like worse than it was. Anyway, Spawn of Dragon. Aspect is actually a unit now, even though it's not always correct to go for. It's actually an option now, and it's not a bad one. So I want to put this in A, because I think the unit is way more flexible than it used to be.
Yeah.
Oh, it's hard. Yeah, the most problematic point is if you started and you want to go aspect on 7, you're overbuilt with a lot of that value. If you add it on 5 and can hold 5 and don't put it as your blocker or your first unit, you actually can hold 7 with 6-2. So this makes it really strong, but still it's nearly 700 that value. But
Yeah,
it's a good unit for early game.
yeah, it's good 1 to 7, then it's pure TK. Really, really bad.
You guys don't like the melt?
If you have 4k value and 15, it's okay, but
Yeah, the
everything
melt doesn't
below it
really do
just
anything.
shit.
Yeah, well, I guess it fits with Arlot.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the unit, whether it's A tier or not is hard to say, but it is better than it was because it is more flexible than it was, and I think that was a big problem with Spawn beforehand.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
you have Dark Mage and Spawn, you have a really good push and you hold 7 with really low value, even versus a big send.
Yeah.
So
It
if you
also
have
really
some
likes
ads,
Exac.
yeah, Exag as well, so it's not the first unit which get focused. So this is also really, really strong. Yeah, sometimes it's worth to build, but in general, it's 700 that value if you go aspect.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe it stays in B then. What do you guys think?
Well,
It's
if you
close.
consider the mid game, I think it's if you consider the dead value, it has to be B. If it's strictly the early game, it could be A.
We're gonna think about the whole game
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I don't really
Then-
want to do this twice. We'll be here a long time and we're just doing change units.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. It's worth saying like Spawn is better than it was, more interesting than it was. Right, Privateer. Even though we're talking about the whole game, I think this thing deserves to be up here in A. I think
I
it's
think it's even S.
Yeah, same.
okay, that's fair, yeah. I mean, if you think about the weak levels of this thing, if you give it like not even much overbuild, but just a bit, it's like kind of 5.
I like that you can just YOLO it. You can start 3-0 and risk some levels, and you're still good. 2, 3, 4, 5. You can go hold, then you even hold 7. And then you hold 7 with being a 10 holder. So
Yeah,
this
you have
unit is
so many options. It's super
yeah,
good.
It is very flexible, and it mixes really nicely with a lot of things as well, hey?
Yeah.
yeah. And I think the change with one shot less balanced the unit so good.
Yeah, I
Super
agree.
balanced now, I think.
This unit, like, you don't see Privateer anymore and get upset that it's like, what is this bullshit? At least I don't. I used to get upset. I think this unit is super, it feels good. I don't know. Feels good to play.
Yeah.
It feels fine to play against. I like the unit a lot. Right. Next one I wanted to look at, Zombie. What do you guys think? Down to D tier? Yeah, we might have slept on this one a bit. Where is it?
I think it's S or S plus, but there's still the trap of the 7 old, which fails really often when people see zombie. Either they skip, either they send. Most of butcher setup. It really depends on your ads on 7, but at the end you can still YOLO it, which people don't do so often. But you can easy YOLO the unit 5, 6, and eventually recover 8 with upgrading only one zombie. So yeah, it's really OP and it's insane on 10. The main problem is to overbuild 4, I guess, to YOLO it good.
Yeah.
When you consider the YOLO, and as an older, yeah, it's good often.
You
If you need a good
suck
ad.
on You
And you
suck
suck
1, you need to overbuild 3, 4, you are weak, 5 is a huge trap. So when I scout a zombie and not good anti-5, so 5 is auto call because it just sucks so bad. And then you have a good 7 hold, but yeah, breakable with BO, so easy. 10 it's good again, and after 10 it's not that value. So all in
Yeah.
all, I think this S is okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think if you have the like really insane ads for it, I think it can go right up here. But in general,
Yeah.
it's a strong unit. It's flexible. As Moa said, you can YOLO it. Something like Zombie Polar just plays itself so nicely. It loves Dark Mage, it loves Ice Troll, it loves Captain. It loves any like range pierce DPS, which is then good on 10. I don't know, this thing just fits in really nicely.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's so good on 10 either, but it just manages to be.
Great DPS, I guess, and the debuff is really OP against boss.
Yeah, I suppose so. Anyway, she's pretty good. She's probably not C tier. Anyway, the Warden.
Oof.
I wouldn't mind putting this in C tier.
Sure.
What do you guys think?
For me, it's still D tier. I saw Warden now. Elder played it a
I
lot.
played it.
If you have Dark Mage Warden, super strong all levels, but you're overbuilt as hell. And still one of the best anti-14 units. But in general, this unit is completely useless.
Yeah. When are you going to play it early game if you don't have Dark Mage? Like,
Yeah, never.
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 This is true. I just had one good game with it and I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. Alright.
For me, it stays in D tier. If you
Alright,
don't
alright,
have Dark
alright.
Mage, you can just ignore it and reroll.
That's true. I would never ever drop this before rerolling.
Yeah.
Like, it's not worth the 5 seconds late wisp.
Yeah. Indeed.
Alright. Guardian of Death. Is this staying here, Moa? What do you reckon?
Yeah, more that's you.
No, but it works if you have Polar or Dark Mage or both. No, it's still D tier for sure. I mean, you can only play it when you have bottom feeder, and if you have only bottom feeder, it's not really good. So yeah, I think it's just D.
Fair enough. Guard? What do we think? It's bad.
Put it in F.
No.
No. I disagree. I think you can, when you have a TK roll and you place a Footman on one, you can manage to YOLO so many TK rolls with it. I like it a lot. I think it's C tier. I played it a lot in FBG with the Little Crusader also. I think it's a good unit, but I think you need to play only one of them.
More than one guard is pretty bad, yeah.
I mean, again, as I said earlier, like Gate Guard and Raider are really bad units in my opinion, and I think Guard is as bad as them or as good as them. I just feel bad to see the Guard in D when Gate Guard and Raider are C.
Yeah, that's fair. Hurts my heart to see it lower than Drunk Pirate as well. Even though I love the Pirate of Truth.
Better than Gate Guard and Raider are so much better than fucking Footman. Because
That's
you can
true.
play them with 90. You can play them with 90 gold. You never need to upgrade them. If you play Footman,
that's the thing. Indeed.
You have to invest another 160 gold to upgrade this shit unit.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point with Gate Guard and Raider. It's pretty cheap, so it fits better with your setup. But if you just start one guard, which is 240 gold, then you can make your TK roll work from 1 to 6. I'm quite sure. It's good on 5. It's good on it's tanky on 6, and it's not so bad. It's good on 4. It's one shot 3.
Only versus BO.
Yeah, only versus BO, that's true.
I don't know. I don't want to have the deciding vote because I
stay
love
here.
this unit.
When do you play Guard and Raider?
Raider is a good ad for all levels, except 5. If you have some tanky units, so you get 2 more units which get focused, and your damage dealer will stay alive.
Are you
much
sure Raider's
longer.
a bad unit for 5? I held 5 with 490 value and a Raider.
Yeah. Well,
know.
you have a good point with the ship price of this unit. Yeah.
It's also worth saying that, like, if we were talking about Footman and not the upgrade, Footman is F tier because Footman is god awful.
Yeah, it's for sure.
It one hits one for 80 gold.
Yeah, and it dies in about half a second.
Yeah, okay.
That's the problem with it. It's so DPS heavy. One shots 2 as well.
I mean, guys, also look at the Pandaren. He's in C tier. I think God is at least as good as Pandaren. Or maybe Pandaren has this spot only because of Malf Pandaren.
Yeah, that's the only time I played this unit.
I fucking hate Pandaren, but it's pretty good on 5 as well. Remember I was playing Sea Giant, I died to Warriors, and I ended up with like Sea Giant 2 Pandas, which was a easy hold 5 and 6. I was like very happy. I was very unhappy.
Really, just look at the rest of the units in D tier. Priest, 1D Goose. There's no way Guard is as bad as this.
That's Dark Priest, by the way. The D tier is Priest.
Yeah. So, well, as you wish, as you wish.
I don't know, it can probably stay. But it's not that bad. Right, Militia, I would move this up to C tier.
Yeah, maybe B. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Militia either.
Yeah, I'm still trying around with this unit. So if you start with a hammer on your lane, you can just forget your lane and just give up.
Yeah.
I like it if you have some tanks and you can go pierce, but then I don't know. I also leaked an 8, even if it's medium armor, or I'm not sure how I should think about the unit. It's an okay ad now, but I try to avoid it.
I'll be back in 1 sec.
Okay. I mean, I remember many times I tried to make my Euro work building a Spearman on 5, but then it's so bad 6, so you can't really, I think Militia is good when you have an older setup and you just get it as DPS on 710.
Yeah. I saw it working with ships, with Hydra, with Yig, with all the heavy tanks. It can
with
work, but then
LD,
you need to overbuild, or you are just a rip lane and a YOLO, and you can just forget your lane if you have a hammer on your lane. It's just so bad.
The YOLO's bad, but I think it's similar to something like Gate Guard YOLO. You know what I mean? So that's why I would put it in C tier.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I think it's still an option. It's not good, but it is an option.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's not A tier anymore. There's no way it's A tier.
No. Maybe it's even B tier. Maybe it's even B tier, but I'm still playing with this unit a bit, and I didn't find the optimal way to play it. So for holding, it's okay, but...
Well, you have Mr. Wyvern in B tier, and maybe they are comparable a bit.
Yeah, and Alpha.
Yeah. I think it fits with Alpha and Wyvern.
Yeah.
That's true.
Alright. Keeping in mind, obviously, that we've just got the base template of the early game list, but Alpha and Wyvern are very much early game units, so that's fine.
I mean, you can even if you start the hammer, I mean, you will be useless at some point, but the YOLO is fine. Yeah. So maybe, B tier fits.
I think it's alright. Alright, next one, Crusader. I have somewhat joined the dark side on this unit. But go ahead, Mara.
Well, I played it a lot in FBG, and I'm sorry for the FBG players, but I love to play the unit. The unit is really bad for sure, but it's playable and it's never F, and it's really strong. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's okay 6. The main problem is 5, but because it's dying super fast and it goes suicide really often. But the DPS themselves on 5 are okay. The problem is that it die, but you can make it work definitely. I think it's a D tier. For me, it's a D tier. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm 100% down for that. I've actually tried this unit a couple of times as well, and it low-key annoyed me that it wasn't completely terrible. I had to like reassess where my head was at on this unit.
When we did this tier list, I almost never played it the first time we did the tier list. Like, yeah, I didn't know the unit at all. I just knew it was super TK5, and I was like, it's a suicide unit, and you just rip on 5, but actually that's a bit wrong.
Yeah, but in fairness, like, do you know the times where we've seen this unit a lot before we actually sort of tried it a little bit? Is like Ig Crusader on 3 versus Verb. Shit like this.
Okay,
and of course, I guess of course you're gonna have a bad impression if that's what you say.
Rummy, what do you think of it?
I literally never play it.
Yeah, okay.
I tried it once with Malf, and it helped me early game, but still, I think, yeah, this is lost gold, and I just never do it.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a little bit comparable.
If I have this tier 2 with Malf and Cold tier 1, it's also reroll for me.
Yeah, I did it 2 days ago to see if it works to have a 5 Malf and a Crusader on 5, and I completely ripped. But I held 6. But yeah, it's really bad on 5. He had a TK synergy with mine. Anyway, yeah.
I think it fits in D tier. I think it fits in a tier with Priest. I don't think it's worse than Priest.
Oh, I played Priest with Egg because I thought, oh yeah, the DPS is not so bad and the Egg will tank. I failed so bad. I think I was suicide lane on 3.
Honestly, that's 2 levels later than I would have expected. Alright, moving on. Servant. Obviously, big changes for this unit, so it did used to be F tier, I think. Maybe E tier. But now, where would you guys put it? I'm thinking it's a B or even A tier unit.
I think A.
This is also so game dependent. So if you start 3-0 and
you can leak level 1 if you do that, by the way, to no send.
I never leaked 1 with that, and I played it 10
I've
times.
I've leaked it once. I've seen it leak once, so it's pretty low chance, but it can happen.
Okay, never happened to me. But if you play it greedy and enemy skips 1, 2, 3, 4, you will end up super good YOLO with super much bonus gold, good tank for 10. So then if the enemy skips, it's just an S tier because you get fat and have a super good YOLO. But if you get early sense and play it greedy, you just end up suicide.
I don't know if you really end up suicide. I think in any case, you all 9 with 7-3. And if the game goes good for you, you're all 9 with 7. Well, that's how I see it, and it's one of the tank units of the game for level 10. It's OP. If you have backline with it on 10, you eat anything. And if you have good ads with it for 7, you can eat, or you can even eat 5 or 6. Yeah, you have like a lot, TS, I don't know.
Yeah, PD
Militia.
was also really good.
Even Militia, at least old Militia.
Yeah.
I like the unit, for sure.
Options. And
yeah, I'll start to like this unit more and more because you can start greedy and get fat and get a good YOLO and you are good on 10. So yeah, maybe it's A tier.
That's fair. I could see it being in a tier with like Ogre. They obviously do different things, but I do like the unit. I do like the unit. I think it's pretty good.
Also, you can always place 2 of them, level 1, and reroll. If you have shit, you can steal YOLO from 1 to 6.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And you don't need farms. There are a lot of upsides. And only early sense can kill it. So you do okay versus
King 10.
I will say the thing I don't like about this unit is level 4.
Yeah. That's true.
Well, you can hold 4 with something like Acolyte or Spectre as tier 1. And
This is true.
Super good because you can, you just get super YOLO.
Even Sprite. I did a mix with Sprite with like 1 Sprite on whichever level it was, level 2 I think, and that actually felt really nice.
Yeah, and I saw, if you have holder at like TS, you just overbuild someone 5 and you eat everything, even on mid. So it has so many options. Super good.
So let's do a quick little comparison, because for the early game, we've got Clockwork in S tier and Servant in A tier. Is that fair that Clockwork is better than Servant early game?
Yes.
It's tricky.
I think it's kind of close. Because I think the units are quite comparable.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, even when you see Clockwork and Privateer in the same tier, it feels weird. See, Privateer is way better than Clockwork, but yeah, at the end, maybe Clockwork is slightly better than Servant. No, I don't know. Maybe they are equal at the end. Then we're gonna need to change the world tier list.
I don't know. I'm happy with Servant and
there are different up and downsides. So Clockwork is just better with some ads and more tankier until 7, and on 10 you can forget Clockwork, but Slave Master with the little slaves is super OP.
Yeah.
It's just a different way of playing.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think Clock's way more resilient in the early game, but I guess it's a 2-0 start most of the time.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think we'll leave this as it is, but it's worth saying that Clock and Slave are like actually quite comparable and maybe should be on the same tier. Anyway, last one, Sear of Darkness. I'm going to put it in E tier. I think it's very marginally usable on 8 and 10. It's worth saying that this unit gets that Phoenix gets pretty good on 20, and then after 20 it's, well, actually I think Phoenix is still bad on 20. I think it gets pretty good after 20, but we're not going to stress too much about that.
I'm not sure the change has made everything better, so the unit is still shit if you don't have Dark Mage.
This is true.
If you compare it to Ice Troll upgraded on 15, which one would you build? Ice Troll upgraded?
Ice Troll.
Yeah. Okay.
Ice Troll.
But if you despair and you need some DPS, maybe you build them 15, but you probably won't hold. It's good 16, it's good 20.
Yeah, for me it's like you can get it on 8 and feel okay about it. It can be used on 10 with Dark Mage, even though it's still not that good.
Yeah, with Dark Mage you can play every...
That's true. It's almost like Dark Mage is not balanced.
Can we put Dark Mage in S++?
I'm okay with it, to be honest. I mean, I played a mean Skeletor YOLO as well.
Yeah, Dark Mage is... I think the units are now pretty balanced, and the only unit I really compare or think it's really OP is the Dark Mage.
I actually kind of agree. No,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
no,
In the mid game, it's
even
less
shit like
exposure.
Hydra feels completely balanced, and then you slap a couple of Dark Mages behind it, and that's not balanced anymore.
Yeah. But in early game,
Yeah, in the early,
game, it's
Dark
bad
Mage isn't
for
as
us.
good as Disciple, so I don't want to go tilting the whole tier list into an overall one. Maybe we'll do an overall one at some point, probably not. Alright, anything else that looks like it's sort of in the wrong place? You guys happy enough with Sear and E? I think it has very slightly usable. I think it's very similar to Steamroller early on, to be honest. So
Yeah,
I agree.
yeah, I think it's fine. I like the list.
Alright, cool. Cheers very much for watching, guys. Shoot something down in the comments if you reckon anything is wrong. I do not want to hear about Veteran, however. Veteran will stay where it is. So yeah, cheers very much for watching. Appreciate it. Like, subscribe, all of that. Thanks to you guys for joining me, and I'll catch you in the next one.